it's disappointing to be a Vikings fan. I'm glad that the Patriots have Tom Brady Jr. on their team. That's really good.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. It's been what I hope. Freaking, we got the Bills for the first time this week, and I'm so conflicted. So
they've been kind of messing up this year, though.
No, they've been really solid. Recently, they've had some hiccups.
Did they lose to the Jaguars?
No, Texans, I think.
I thought they lost to the Jaguars, or maybe they didn't.
No, maybe it was. Oh shit, maybe it was the Jaguars. Now I'm like doubting myself. I forget. It was like 2 weeks ago though, and then I think they lost this past week too. Who was that too? Damn, why am I so like that? Anyway, before that, I had the Bills as like my number 1 D because they were the number 1 defense in the league. And they're like, you could expect
they lost 6-9. So Jaguars 9.
The Jaguars? Oh
yeah, that's why I told you. I think the Patriots. I mean, they've been slipping. They lost to the Colts too, 41-15.
Yes. That was the most recent one. That was like a shocker. I was like, damn, the Colts beat up on them. Man, Jonathan Taylor is an absolute beast. Like the Colts team is like sneaky good.
Did you see that fan that had the hat? He goes, "Just run the ball." Like that was his hat. His hat, literally the fan hat, it said, "Just run the ball." It was like pretty much saying like, give it to Jonathan Taylor and he could do the rest.
Well, people love to rip on Carson Wentz, but there is a few highlights.
Yeah, because he looks just like Andy Dalton.
Yeah, that too.
Literally, I think Andy Dalton and Carson Wentz should be twins, like Irish twins somehow.
Well, it's just like, it's so interesting because if you look at the Eagles now, they don't have an identity when it comes to like who like dominates their field on offense, which is fine because there's other teams like the Patriots, for example. The Patriots have one of the best running offenses in the league, and it's not one person. It's a little bit of Damian Harris. It's a little bit of Ramondre Stevenson. When James White was healthy, you could like throw him out on like a little out route or like a little in route or a little go route or something like that. Same thing with Brandon Bolden. So the Patriots, like, they kind of cut their teeth on not having like one particular back. And it's been like that for a long time. It's always RB1, RB2 type situation.
Yeah.
But the Eagles, I don't think they've really like found their identity. So they throw Jordan Howard in there, they throw Boston Scott in there, like they throw all these other like players in there, and Jalen Hurts is like, I honestly think he's like up there with like Kyler Murray in regards to like skill and ability, but I think that like their run game could be so much better if they could like hone in on like like RB1, RB2, for example, as opposed to having like 4 different backs. But they've also been riddled with injuries and stuff like that, and I'm sure Eagles fans would have like a different analysis. But,
well, that's always why I liked the Vikings, because I think every year you could kind of say they had good backup running backs. Like when Adrian Peterson was on the team, they had Chester Taylor. I think when Chester Taylor left, they had Lamar Murray. I think maybe his first name's not Lamar, but they had, maybe it's Ladarius Murray. I don't know. They had Latavius, yeah. Yeah, he's I forgot his. I think he was just on the team. I was just watching Sunday Night Football. I forgot what team he's on now. And then like now, like they got Madison now, and then they have that rookie that ran 2 kickoff returns. He's like our 3rd running back, I guess. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's like Kanahu Ni or something like that. It's just some crazy full name. But speaking of which, I don't think I ever told you, Roman. I don't know if you ever heard of like Tevin Coleman, the running back.
Yeah.
He's on the Jets now.
Yeah.
You know, I played basketball with him in junior high, right?
No way, really?
Yeah. So he grew up in Oak Forest, Illinois, which is like 10-15 minutes away from where I grew up. I think he's a year older than me, but he's got like he was like a year older than me, but he's like in the same grade level type situation. Yeah, he was just born like later in the year type deal. I think he's like 6 months older than me or something like that. Yeah, I forgot, I don't think I ever told you, but yeah, I remember when he was on the 49ers. Like I was watching a game and like it said Coleman, and then like I was talking to one of my buddies and he's like, yeah, dude, he played basketball when we were in junior high. He was on Arbor Park. And then just to give you like um like a random stats that's not obviously accurate. He was pretty much scoring, like he was like pretty much the point leader in basketball, and like that's how you could tell like genetic athlete he was. So like in 7th and 8th grade, I'm pretty sure like he led both years in our junior high like conference with like the highest points, and he didn't become a basketball player. So yeah. So yeah, I didn't even realize it until like last year, 2 years ago, he's in the NFL. And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, like, don't you remember Antoine? Like we played basketball with him. I'm like, I guess like that was so long ago. Like that was when I was like, 13, 14 years old. So, I did hit a buzzer beater on their team when we played at their school, but we lost anyways. But I did hit a buzzer beater 3 on their team. I don't know if it was on him. But if you're listening, Tevin, I probably still could ball you up, and I could still shoot better than you. So he's the same height as me. He's like 6'1". I'm 6'2", and he's 210, and I'm 205. So him and I are like the same size too.
Yeah. So. He's quick though. Not that you're not quick, buddy, but.
Oh, I'm not at all, dude. I walk. That's like the fastest I go.
He's on a different level than we are.
But Gainz podcast, what's going on, guys? It's been a while. Obviously, we're talking sports, football. I think Roman and I we're like the laziest sports guys you could probably pay attention to sports, because we only pay attention to football because it's usually like one day a week. And there's only 17 games, or is it 18?
17 games now.
Yeah. So it's glad that we get to only talk about sports like during this time, because Roman and I don't really I pay attention to basketball, but like when football season's over with. Like right now, like the Bulls are kicking ass. The Suns are doing really good. They're on an 18 game win streak, or 17. Yeah. Yeah, so and they're playing the Warriors this Friday, and the Warriors, I think the Suns and the Warriors have the best records in the league right now. But the Bulls are doing really good, which I'm freaking happy about, because the Bulls have been sucking for the past like 8 years. I think since Derrick Rose left the Bulls, like we just haven't been good. The Celtics are always good. When have they not had a good year? So Roman at least has that.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to check in on the Celtics and the Bruins from time to time. Like I think the Bruins are like, they got 22 points right now. I think they're like 11-9 is their record, something like that. And I'll try and watch like highlights of a game from time to time. But yeah, when football's in full swing, I'm like so invested in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, and it's good to be a Patriots fan right now too. Like I messaged Joe. If you guys remember, Joe was on the podcast. He was one of the 3 guests we had. I think we've only had 3. Yeah. And I was like, because he posted something on Instagram, I'm like, that's the next TB, baby. He'd probably say otherwise. Roman and him probably are like, well, let's give the guy like a couple years and see what he can come out with, instead of. It's kind of like Taylor Heineke. Dude, that guy is just he's gonna, dude. He's so blessed. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, the guy from the starting quarterback for the Washington football team. They're a sleeper. They're a team that the NFL is not talking about right now.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he was 28 years. He's like around my age. He's a year older, year younger than you, or year and a half younger than you. He was sitting on his couch last year, and they called him up it's like Tony Romo. He didn't get drafted into the Washington football team, and then he's now on the team, and they're what, 6-5. So I mean, they're about to knock. Or is it 5-6?
No, I think you're right with 6-5.
Yeah, they're pretty much about to knock Vikings out of the wild card spot because the Vikings keep on pretty much destroying their schedule. So by sucking so bad, I mean, not a good destroying, but destroying in a bad way where it's like, it's crazy the social media presence these days because I know you don't have Twitter, man. They like the fire Nagy for the Bears and the fire Zimmer for Vikings is just so popular. Like every time Vikings or Bears post something, they're just like fire the coach, fire Mike, fire Mike, fire Mike, and then like Bears, it's like fire Matt Nagy, fire Matt Nagy.
Yeah,
it's so crazy. Like if I was like a coach, I would not go on social media because they just get blamed for everything.
Yeah, I mean the Bears. Like I haven't been following the Bears too much this season because they're like, they're not playing super well, and then the Patriots are playing really well. So, but I mean like Khalil Mack, I heard just like went down. I think last week or the week before with like a season-ending injury. So it's like that. He's the core of your defense, and the Bears are like well known for their defense. Like Justin Fields is new. Like he's still gonna have to like find his way. Like Andy Dalton, he's like an okay quarterback, but
yeah, they're talking about starting him instead because the fact that when he played like 1.5 quarters, he almost threw like 250 yards, like just 1.5 quarters. It's not even a full game.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think that like I mean it's too late at this point. I don't think they can turn around their season, but it's like I don't know what do you do?
We're playing Steelers tomorrow primetime.
Oh, it's Vikings Steelers this week.
Yeah,
the Packers next week. Then I thought it was the Packers this week.
No, Packers we played 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, the Packers. I think we don't play the Packers. Wait. No. Wait. We play. I think we play. No, we play the Lions this week. Maybe we don't play. No. I think hold on. Let me look now. No, sorry. Next Thursday is the Steelers and Vikings. This week it's the Lions. God damn it! I thought it was tomorrow. I was really getting excited.
Yeah, what is the Thursday night game? The Thursday night game is like Dallas and somebody else, I think.
Probably the Browns. I don't know.
No, the Browns are on an off week. I have Nick Chubb on my my fantasy leagues. That's what I know. Thursday night football is Cowboys Saints.
Hey. Yeah, the Vikings don't play the Packers again until January 2nd, the day after New Year's. So, yeah, but
okay. Is that the last the year, or is that the second to last?
No, we still have the Bears Vikings January 9th. January 9th is the last week of the football season.
Oh, that's a good way to end. You've got 2 divisional rivals last 2 weeks.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know why the NFL does that, but the Bears and Vikings play each other like the last game of the season, like every year. I think that's our last game, like every year. Like I remember when we drove to Minnesota, that was the last game of the year, or maybe maybe it was like second to last, but we saw the Bears Vikings in Minnesota. So it's usually. I mean, it's crazy. It's like. They with the Vikings, like we don't play our division until like the end. Like the Bears Vikings, they play December 20th, and then 2 weeks after we play them January 9th. So like I don't know who makes the schedule, but like I felt like they should split it, a little bit better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Your video's off, Roman. Did you do that? Did you hit something?
I think I'm getting a call, and I'll just send him a quick text.
Yeah, but guys, welcome back to the Gainz podcast. It's been a while, right? I forgot to post a Gainz podcast episode. Flew out to Chicago. Chicago was great. We saw snow. It was good to see cold weather. And then go back, and then my parents stayed with us for a week, and then Roman went to Massachusetts, and then we, there was Thanksgiving, so we hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys got some good quality time with your fam. Hopefully you had some good time with friends maybe instead of family. And then, obviously we want to say we're thankful for you guys, even though, we don't really say it enough, but we just want to sit here and just say thank you guys for being a part of Gainz Podcast, Gainz Nation. And cheers to another year. This is like our second year in. So it's crazy how it's almost been 2 years. And then depending on what you guys celebrate, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Because I don't know what our schedule is going to be looking like this month, but Roman's going back to Massachusetts. So depending on what's going on with that, we might be here and there until the New Year's. So don't yell at us. Don't hate us. Don't dislike us. Just go back in the archives. We got so many episodes. We're almost up to 100. Maybe check back. Maybe you're feeling like, hey, what is a macro? Let me go back to the basics for the new year. Let me figure out what keto diets are, what supplements maybe I should be taking. Maybe I should worry about my flexibility next year. All those different kind of ideas. Go through our archives and give it another listen, give it another watch. We appreciate that. Roman, the episode is what you should eat on the holidays. I mean, everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to know, like, how serious should I be on the holidays, Roman? What should I do? What should I be avoiding? Should I be avoiding anything? Because I know how my answer is going to be, but Roman, what is your couple of thoughts on that one?
Just white rice, chicken breasts, and broccoli.
I thought you were going to say rice, a fish and a rice cake.
No, I mean, it's important to, like, be flexible with yourself. Like, no matter what your, like, your particular, like, eating,
goal.
Like, regimen, goal, like, nutrition protocol is. So, like, yeah, don't be, like, too hard on yourself around the holidays. Because, like, all right, as an example, I've been just trying to, like, maintain my weight. I've been successful even through the holidays with maintaining my weight. I just do it, like, intuitively based off of, like, my knowledge of, like, the particular, like, food servings. I just kind of listen to, like, okay, I'm full, I'll stop eating, or, like, oh, I'm still hungry, I'll, like, throw a little bit more on my plate, whatever. But my partner, her and I, we like to take our hand at baking from time to time. We make our own, like, homemade breads. We made some cinnamon rolls over break, and one of the things that she wanted to try, because her dad was like, "Hey, let's, like, make this," was a choux pastry, which is kind of like a slack, like, pastry dough, which you fry, and then she filled it with, like, her own homemade creme pâtisserie. So it's like a kind of like a creamy filling, and then she, like, melted down, like, her own, like, chocolate, and she, like, put on a chocolate glaze, and, like, there were these, like, tiny little, like, chocolatey Claire bites. They're absolutely phenomenal. Like, maybe my, like, top 3 or top 5 desserts, like, ever. They're just, like, that good.
Did it get you that sweet feet, swollen ankles feeling?
Man, if I kept going, I only took 2, and I was like, it was after, like, Thanksgiving dinner and everything, and I was full. But man, I could have just kept on going, kept on, like, throwing those things back. But my point in, like, kind of going over all that is that was special. Like, she literally never made that before, and they came out, like, absolutely fantastic. And, like, it's important to, like, be able to, from time to time, like, share a meal with people. And her and her parents had a lot of family over, so it was really nice to actually have, like, a Thanksgiving since, like, the pandemic started. So in that instance, like, it's okay if you like maybe overindulge a little bit. Like, what's one meal gonna do? You can always, like, yeah, one meal is, like, it's not gonna, like, break the bank, the caloric bank, for example. And to be able to, like, have that experience and enjoy it with others can be, like, incredibly useful. So it might make sense for you to, like weigh out all your own food and bring your own food, et cetera, et cetera. I've, like, done that in the past, but also I think it's important not to, like, guilt yourself and not feel bad if you want to, like, kind of go off track a little bit for like a special occasion like a holiday, for example.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think we're gonna make the title like pretty sternly like what you should eat for the holidays, because like I feel like the people who like actually like condone like what you should be eating on the holidays is, I think it's pretty hilarious. So I'm only gonna do it. So if you guys are listening, I'm just doing it as a marketing scheme. But all the like listeners that want to click on the video, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, Antoine and Roma are gonna tell us like the cheat guide or the guidebook to like gains of the holidays. No, not really. Like, yeah. What are 5 foods in Thanksgiving that's gonna increase testosterone, help you recover, and build more gains? But like no, like in all seriousness, like like Roman was saying, like pretty much I feel the same way. Like even in my like competing days in 2016. My last show was in October. So I did one in, what was it, March, and then October. So like, right when we get to the holidays, like it was hard for me to kind of let go, but like, it's like one of those things where I think at the time, like I was single, I was living on my own, and like my parents were like pretty close to me. So like I pretty much went to their house and we cooked and like kind of ate what we wanted. I'm pretty sure I took my dad to the gym like in 2016 too. Like after the meal, like that was like me like being pretty terrible to myself, even though I probably shouldn't have. But like after stuffing myself, I like went to the gym and lifted. But obviously I know a little bit better. Like this year, we were in Arizona, so like Sam and I lifted during the day and then just had like frozen pizza. But like when we came back to Chicago the week before, like even right now I'm losing weight for March, but I think I had like pretty much before like dinner, because dinner usually for Thanksgiving, what typical for like me, I guess, and like people's families is like, you eat dinner at like 3 or 4 p.m. instead of like 5, 6, 7 p.m. I don't know if it's because you just want to keep stuff in food down and you give yourself an earlier time, but like like when we did our Thanksgiving back home in Chicago with Sam's family, I pretty much just had like 2 protein meals beforehand. Like I knew I was going to eat like a lot of carbs and fats. So I was like, well, what I decided, I was like, well, I kind of want to hit my protein goal for the day. That's my main focus, and everything else can kind of just like do whatever. So like I pretty much like ate a protein breakfast and then like maybe like an early protein lunch, and then pretty much just had regular Thanksgiving dinner and then dessert, and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I still think it's good. Like, it is good advice to say to like prioritize lean protein sources, to get plenty of like fruits and like vegetables, and like just be sparing with like sweets and desserts. It doesn't mean like don't have any, but if you were like, if you did have a goal in mind, like I think it is important to like create like some constraints, so like you don't go and eat a whole pumpkin pie. I mean, if you want to do it, like, if you're not going to feel like guilty about it, if it's not going to make you like sick, if you're not going to like want to purge afterwards, like whatever, go for it. But also like it's necessary, whereas like you could have like one slice of pie, and it's like, don't worry about the calories and stuff like that. Like just enjoy, because like you can get right back on plan tomorrow. It's pretty hard for most people to be able to like completely derail themselves. Like even people that do like the 10,000 calorie challenge, like you do like gain an appreciable amount of body fat from doing that, but like your body also kind of goes into like hyperdrive, because it has to like figure out how it can digest like all that food that you just brought in. So your overall metabolism for that day should be like slightly higher, because you are trying to like burn through most of that. Now, I mean, if you're just like sucking down like liquids and like they're like fatty liquids, maybe not as much. But if you have like a good amount of protein like sprinkled in there, then like the thermic effect of food, that'll like take effect, et cetera, et cetera. But I would say in general, like with like this past like holiday and then the holidays coming up, like just enjoy time with like family, friends. Like one thing that like the pandemic kind of like brought up is that like we don't know the next time that we'll be able to like spend quality time with them. So it's important to like enjoy. I would say those would be my recommendations.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, two things out of that, like what Roman was saying in the beginning, like right now I have a weight loss goal. I'm trying to hit 200 pounds, like maybe a little bit under, but like between traveling and then my parents staying with us for a whole week, like I'm down to 204. I think I texted Roman, like I got down to 203.8. That was like the low I got, but the last two weigh-ins I weighed in 204. So like I'm perfectly on track for, dropping 4 more pounds, like 4.5-ish pounds. And that's like I was saying, like I had the 2 protein meals and then I kind of just did whatever for dinner and dessert. So, and then the second thing is, I got back on the Huberman Lab podcast, even though Alex Aragon was kind of blowing it up, or Alan Aragon. I don't know why I said Alex Aragon. It's Alan Aragon. But speaking of which, the 10,000 calories, I just learned that if you do that for like he doesn't, it's not like a full definition, but if you do that consistently for like 2 or 3 months, technically that's a binge eating disorder, Roman.
Yeah.
So I would advise from doing those 10,000 calories. I mean, it was a big thing. I remember like every YouTube fitness person that like started, like Max Tuning, Eric the Electric, I think even Vegan Gainz, like back in the day, like before he like started ripping everyone apart like 24/7, that was like the main video. Like if you weren't a fitness YouTuber, like Omar Isuf, I think tried it. Like you weren't a main fitness YouTuber back in 2012 unless you didn't do a 10K calorie challenge.
Yeah.
But
oh my God, the amount
I never tried it. I mean, I've definitely had like I think during the bodybuilding show days, afterwards that probably sparked up a couple of times, but after a while, like, I was telling Sam this with the dieting and stuff, I don't ever hesitate or go against like different foods where like if I want like a bunch of butterscotch morsels as like a snack, like I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. But like I don't really hold myself against anything anymore. So like even if I couldn't even tell you the last time I even said like cheat day, because like I don't, like, you and Roman probably would agree, but like we don't really need a cheat. Like we just know how to maintain a lower meal size. That's pretty much what it is, dieting. It's just maintaining, like, instead of eating 5 or 6 eggs, maybe go to like 4 or 3 to 4. And then, if you have like a Greek yogurt or, oatmeal or, I've been doing the cream of rice. But like, just have a little bit less of that. So
yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's perfect. So like, I think we've kind of gone over this before, but a couple of things that I try to do is, so I usually consume like 4 to 5 meals a day. So I take whatever my protein target is, which is like 1 pound, or 1 gram per pound of body weight. So I try to stick around like 170 grams of protein, and I allow myself to go as low as like 0.8 grams per pound, which is 136 grams. And I just like kind of eyeball, and I just like do it like on top of my head. So for example, for breakfast this morning, I had 4 eggs over easy with a tablespoon of olive oil, about 3/4 of a cup of black beans, half an apple, and about 2 tablespoons of sun butter. And that was like 41, 42 grams of protein. I just consider it to be like 40. And like most of that was just kind of like eyeballing things. I could be like on the high end, I could be at like 50 grams of protein, which is totally fine because I try to like 35, because I try to keep my probably 40, probably. But I try to keep my meals between 35 grams of protein to 50 grams of protein. So 35 times 4, if that was like the base amount, then I would be at 140, which is just above that 0.8 grams per pound of protein. And I try to evenly space it out through the day. And the rationale that I use for that is that it helps to like spike or peak like mTOR, which is like a muscle building pathway. So I think that it's like the jury's still out, but it does seem that like 2+ meals is probably optimal, up to like maybe 6, and then like possibly upwards of 8+ is like maybe 2 like protein sparse, unless you're going to like extreme amounts, like 2+ grams of protein per pound of body weight, which some people do. Like Heath Evans, a former fullback for the New England Patriots, he's pretty synonymous with doing like close to 500 grams of protein a day. He's got some pretty interesting use cases, and that guy like works out like a crazy madman. Like I think his resistance exercise training is like ++ hours a day. So he practically does strongman. So like that was something I wanted to say, is that like somebody like your size and my size, like doing a 10K like calorie challenge a day, yeah, like you might be verging on like an eating disorder, but somebody like Brian Shaw, like he might have to do that just to maintain, because his workout like regimen and schedule is so intense. Like Hafthor Bjornsson, that guy is massive. He's like 6'7", 6'8", and at his peak he was like over 400 pounds, I think, or close to. So that dude like needed to freaking take in some like heavy duty calories.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think Brian Shaw does a full. If you ever check it out, Brian Shaw does do a full day eating. He has done like a full day eating on YouTube. I know that for sure. Yeah, I don't know about Hafthor, but I know Brian Shaw for sure.
It's funny. I watched one like probably a couple years ago, and he did one with like one of his buddies who's like a Marine, I think. And he like when he introduced, like, oh, my buddy's a Marine, he's hardcore, all this stuff. And like after the first meal, he's like, how you doing? The guy was like, good, that was really good. They had like top sirloin steak with like a couple eggs and rice, and it was like 2,000 calories worth of all of that. Like it was like a giant bowl worth of like steak, rice, and eggs. And the guy was like, I'm doing good, that was really good. And then Brian's like, awesome, we're just gonna like hang around. 2 hours later, like we're gonna do the same meal again, we're gonna add in some carrots. So it was like 20 like 100 calories. The guy like barely finished. He's like, how are you doing? Like Brian to his friend, and he's like, that was pretty hard. Then he's like, no worries, we're gonna do like a similar meal 2 hours from now. And it's like by the end of the day, the guy just like, he couldn't finish any of his meals. He was just like, dude, how do you do this every day and then function? He's like, this is just my life, man.
Yeah. And he uses probably most of that energy anyway, so he's probably used to it compared to that guy. So
yeah, exactly. But like, I mean, totally different sizes. Like his friend was probably like 180 to 200 pounds, and Brian Shaw is like 330, 350. Like so, like totally different. So you have to like base your goals based off like your own individualistic needs.
Yeah. But yeah, sweet guys. Well, we are somewhat back. Thanks for tuning in. Follow us on all social media, which is pretty much Instagram. Watch us on all audio and video platforms. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends about us, please, and thank you. Message us on Instagram or comment on YouTube if you want to see anything else, and then we'll see you guys on that next one. Peace.